Alright, welcome back to the channel, my rebels and dreamers. So many of you hit me up, asking for the secret sauce, the magic pill to getting rich in your 20s. And honestly, when I tell you the truth, most of you just blink like, nah, that can't be it. It has got to be more complicated, right? Wrong, my friends, utterly, unequivocally wrong. Now, let's get something straight right off the bat. I'm 27, still rocking my not quite retired badge. Me liquid net worth sitting pretty at around 1.3 million, give or take a few thousand, depending on what the market decides to do. Today, it is not private jet to Monaco money, not yet. Anyway, but it is enough to tell you from one young hustler to another that I've picked up a few gold nuggets along the way. And trust me, they're not what you'd expect. We're going to dive into the stuff that nobody tells you, the real talk, the kind of insights that separate the dreamers from the doers. And for anyone on this wild ride trying to build something epic, this is for you. So buckle up, buttercups, let's just jump right into it. No particular order, just a brain dump of pure gold first up. And this one's going to sting a little, the dumber you are. Or let's say, the less burdened by conventional smartness you are, the more likely you are to get rich. Yeah, I said it. And I genuinely believe it with every fiber of my being, especially in our generation. I've seen it firsthand. The super smart kids, the ones who aced every test, went to the best schools. They're often stuck in this analytical paralysis. They overthink, they overstrategize. They're too self-aware. It is like this bizarre paradox, right? You get so caught up in being spiritual or intellectual or whatever, you start thinking you're above the grind, above the hustle. You think your brilliant mind alone should manifest millions. But newsflash, the real world doesn't care about your philosophy degree. It cares about action, about hustle, about getting things done, making money. My friends, is not about how many books you've read or how shiny your GPA was. I used to struggle with this big time in high school. I was the straight D student, the kid who'd fold his report card into a tiny origami bird, hoping it would fly away, while everyone else was flaunting their A's and B's. Back then, entrepreneurship wasn't a cool hashtag. It was, get a good job, settle down, that is your life. But the world's changed, and honestly, the straight, as students are often still waiting for permission to build their empire. While the stupid ones, the ones who just dared to try, they're out there, building, failing, learning, and ultimately winning. So yeah, while I'm not saying intelligence is bad, I am saying sometimes a little less overthinking and a lot more doing is the secret sauce second. And this is the absolute core, the heartbeat, of net worth creation. The gap between your income and your expenses. That, my friends, is your actual net worth building machine. Unless you're like 50, 60, 70, or you've just cashed out of some unicorn startup. Your cash flow, that active income, is the only thing truly moving the needle. It is the sole reason I'm at 1.3 million today. I check my investments, and yeah, they've done their thing. Maybe a mid-6-figure gain, 150,000, maybe 175,000 in total. From an investment perspective, that is great, but it is not the whole story. Everything else, every single penny, is pure cash flow. My businesses, they're generating active income. Income that I control, income that I can reinvest, that I can scale. And I'm not saying you have to be a business owner, not at all. You can crush it in high-ticket sales. You can jump into an early-stage startup. There are a million ways to generate serious income with a bit less entrepreneurial freedom, which, by the way, is why I love entrepreneurship so much. The freedom, it is 1:55 in the afternoon right now, and I'm about to go return my scratched-up Grand Theft Auto 4, because I can, because I want to. That is true freedom. But back to net worth, the way you build it, especially in your 20s and early 30s. Pure and simple, Anyon, who challenges me on this, in my humble opinion, is just flat out wrong. You're not going to invest someone who is pulling in 20, 30, 50,000 a month. It is just not going to happen. I'm actually making a whole video about this next. I've made 20 to 25,000 a month profit for the last 4 years. Here is where it all goes, because it is true. It is about income, and that leads us to number 3. Most guys, especially in their 20s, you actually shouldn't want to get rich quick. I know, blasphemy, right? But think about it. We've all seen them. The ones who hit 100 grand a month once, or some crazy windfall, and then what? They blow it all, they flex a screenshot, buy a bunch of stupid crap to keep up appearances. And then 3, 4, 5 years later, they've got nothing to show for it. Dude, nobody cares about your temporary flex. Nobody. You should want to make a good amount of money, consistently, for a long period of time. That is the real game. I've never pulled in 6 figures a month, not yet. Anyway, we're working towards it. Trust me, but since March of 2022, there hasn't been a single month, not one, where I've made less than 20,000 a month in profit. No 50, no 100, no millions a year. Just slowly, steadily, consistently stacking, and mentally. That is a million times better than chasing some meme stock to the moon, or hoping for 1,000% pop. Yeah, there is FOMO, of course. I'm human, but my SP gains, my tech-focused index fund, they're just quietly doing their thing, making me money while I haven't even pressed a button. So, don't chase the quick buck. If it happens, awesome. Celebrate it, but building true, sustainable wealth. That teaches you financial management skills. It teaches you discipline. Because, let's be real, if you'd given me 100 grand a month in my early 20s, I probably would have blown every single penny. I didn't have that kind of discipline then. Who knows what you do with that kind of money when you're that young, right? So, be mindful. Aim for consistency, not just speed forth, and this is your North Star, your guiding light. You need to be absolutely obsessed with your first 10,000 a month. That is it. Full stop. Don't get caught up chasing 50,000 a month. Don't fantasize about millionaire net worth. Don't dream of a $5 million business exit. Just focus on 10,000 a month. If you're not there yet, that should be your number one, non-negotiable goal. Do it relentlessly. I don't care if it is high-ticket sales, e-commerce, reselling stuff. There are a million ways to hit 10,000 grand a month. Dude, that is 120,000 a year. That is not some crazy, unattainable number. That is pennies in the grand scheme of things. Figure out a way to do it. Everything else, the momentum, the dopamine rush, will follow. You'll have money to invest. You'll be out of survival mode. And then, you'll naturally think, okay, now I can hit 15, then 17.5, then 20. It builds, it compounds. I see so many day traders applying for my coaching. They're chasing these massive, huge trades, these huge North Star goals. And I'm like, dude, why not just focus on being profitable first? Why not just aim for a $500 day or a $200 day? It is just ridiculous, honestly. So, write it down, make it your wallpaper, comment it on this video, stare at 10,000 a month all the damn time. That is your goal, your North Star fifth, and this is a hard pill to swallow for many. You are going to fail 10 times more often than you succeed, so you may as well just keep trying. I've told this story a million times. When I was younger, it felt like I was failing at everything. Forex trading, binary options, Twitch streaming, real estate wholesaling, private equity deal sourcing before it was even cool. Back in 2015, 16, 17, every single one of them, a spectacular failure. Didn't make a single penny from any of them. But you know what? I learned little bits, little pieces from each one, and when I finally mashed it all together, it worked beautifully. All it takes is one good hit, one good hustle to take off. And suddenly, all the haters, all the doubters, they shut up like, damn, he actually has a business now. It is like that. And if you're spending a ton of money on your side hustles or your business, you're probably in the wrong one. Pick a white belt level business. Something you can start without a huge capital outlay. That is why I'm so big on the agency model. Helping guys get their first 3, 4, 5 grand a month, their first couple of clients, to eventually quit their job or just build a solid side income. Sixth, this is where it gets really counterintuitive. Just copy what is already working. Don't innovate, don't try to reinvent the wheel. I've done over $2 million in sales with my agency, a little more, actually, and how? By just copying what my old boss did, by freelancing the exact same thing I did in my old day job, then scaling it exactly as he did. It is not about being original, it is about being effective. Now, don't copy things verbatim, word for word, that is just stupid. That is how you screw yourself. But find what people are already spending money on, find a gap, make it better, faster, cheaper, whatever, and resell it. It is not complicated, bro. Just sell what is already in demand. This applies to YouTube, to content, to coaching, to anything. Figure it out, learn along the way, and then add your own story. That is the best way to make money. Truly, seventh, reject hustle culture. And this is coming from someone who hustled like crazy in the beginning. The goal is maximum output for minimum input. Eventually, that is going to mean delegation, employees, people doing things for you. That is how I've gained so much of my freedom. But even for now, I am inherently lazy, always have been, throughout high school. I was always looking for the cheats, the hacks, ways to avoid homework, ways to get the answers without doing all the work. And it worked beautifully for me. As funny as it sounds, you need to do the same thing with your own life. Find your little hacks. You don't need to work 80 hours a week in the beginning. Yeah, you're going to have seasons of intense work, keywords, seasons, not your entire life. You shouldn't want to work like a dog forever. The whole point of life is to enjoy it. But you will have those seasons. You have to learn to optimize, to delegate. That is how billionaires become billionaires. They've got code working in the background, they've got content, they've got teams. If it wasn't for my team, I wouldn't be able to do this right now. So think that way, always. Eighth, this is a myth we need to bust. You do not need money to make money. Yes, eventually, you'll need capital to scale, to build something beyond yourself. But in the beginning, you don't need a ton of money to start a real estate project. You can syndicate it. You don't need a ton of money to buy a business. You can raise funding, find a lender. There are so many ways, so many strategies. If you're using "I don't have enough money" as an excuse, dude, you're coping, plain and simple. You're making excuses for something that doesn't need to be excusable. Just do the damn work. It doesn't take money. It takes effort. It takes time. And, yeah, you can't get time back, but you're in your 20s. If you're watching this, you're my audience. You probably are in your 20s. You don't need a ton of startup capital. Start a white belt business, something that doesn't demand huge investment, and you'll be fine. Ninth, and this is crucial for anyone starting anything, speed of implementation beats perfection every single time. So many people are stuck, complaining. It is not the right time. I don't know what to do. Again, coping. Dude, just start. Have a channel idea, go to an AI, paste in some videos from your niche. Ask it, what can I add? What is my unique spin? What are my personal topics of interest? Boom, instant video ideas. You'll probably print from that. It goes back to copying, finding gaps, filling them with your own ideas, your own story. Just start. Nobody's first video, first product, first anything is perfect. Go back and listen to my early videos. The mic quality, my speech, it is all a bit rough. Nothing's perfect, and striving for perfection is just procrastination in disguise. It is killing your long-term success. And the final one, dude, this sums it all up. The world's a hard place. You're going to have to get used to it. Nobody's handing you anything on a silver platter, unless you've got rich parents. And hey, that is awesome. I hope to provide that for my kids one day. Within reason, but for the rest of us, get used to it. Getting rich is hard, but you know what is harder? Being poor. So you may as well just try to do this, right? Isn't that the more logical option, to push as hard as you possibly can? To try to get rich, to build something incredible. I think so, bro. I think that is the better path. So run with it. It is not easy. It is simple in theory, but it requires work. A lot of different ideas, a lot of different actions from you. That is just life. In general, delegation, all that fancy stuff, that comes later. But yes, you're going to need probably 1 solid year, 2 solid years. Of being able to do whatever the hell you want in the afternoon, maybe even less if you push harder. But that is my opinion, my thought process. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you made it this far, I want to see you win, keep crushing it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay boring, stay patient. Peace.